Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Call Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, Bashim Hakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, Shalom Labuquarium. Yahweh is the name of the Heavenly Father, which is the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Bashim, which means in the name of Yahweh Shai, is the name of the only begotten Son, who was sent to deliver the children of Israel from their sins. Bashim Hakwadash means in the name of the Holy Spirit, which is the volume of the book, the Spirit of Truth. And that spirit is being heightened to reveal more things, reveal more secrets of the Heavenly Father unto his servants, the prophets, the 144,000, to bring forth to showcase to the elect so they can have more understanding on the mind of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Okay? And basically, myself and the other brothers in the camp, we did a series on going into 1 Peter. And through the studying and the research, we came across here where it says, 1 Peter 5:13, it says, the church that is at Babylon, elected together with you, saluteth you, and so doeth Marcus, my son. Okay? And I want to express one thing, first and foremost, on why it's important, okay, to look up words. Okay, this is why it's important to look up words, because when you actually go into this, there should be a bell ringing in your minds asking, why is Paul talking about a church in Babylon when we know ancient Babylon was destroyed, for one. For two, there's no really record of him going into that region of Babylon. Okay? So when you look up, it says the church that is at Babylon. Now it says Babylon, which we know in the Hebrew means Babal, which means confusion. So you have one definition here. It says a very large famous city, residence of Babylonian kings, situated on both the bank of Euphrates. Cyrus informally captured it by Darius. Hystaspas threw down its gates and walls. Xerxes destroyed the temple of Belus, or Bel. At length, the city was reduced to almost solitude. The population had been drawn off by the neighboring Seleucia, right? Built on the Tigris by the Seleucids Nicanor. So that's much further down the line, which the Seleucid, that came after the time of the Greeks. Okay, and if you know the history, Paul is writing these letters during the time of the rulership of the Romans, which is after the Greeks. All right, and the second definition says of the territory of Babylonia. Now the third definition says allegorically of Rome as the most corrupt seat of idolatry and the enemy of Christianity. You see? So Paul was making reference to Rome and called it Babylon, which is very spiritual. Okay? The first reason that I would say that is very spiritual, because you have to understand during the time of Paul, who were the main inhabitants, or who was the ones controlling Rome. Okay? Now, you have to go into research, you have to go into history, and you have to dig things up so you can find out the truth of the matter. Okay? In which we believe and we teach that what? That the Edomites were ruling Rome. Okay? And then also, too, in the scriptures, King David, let me get that first. King David, in the book of Psalms, he likened the Edomites, Esau, the so-called white man, to Rome. To Babylon, I should say. Okay? Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, race it, meaning kill him, even to the foundation thereof, O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed. So he called Edom the daughter of Babylon. This is King David. This is about 4,000 years or 2,000 years, I should say, prior to Paul. Happy shall he be that rewarded thee as thou has served us. Happy shall he be that taketh and dashes thy little ones against the stones. Right? Because just like the Babylonians who tore down our temples, right? And basically massacred us, okay? not only did the Edomites help the Babylonians, but they themselves erected a nation, or erected a kingdom, or a power called Rome. Okay, which did what? Which did the same thing. They did much massacring to our people, you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, which you're called today, which you are the biblical Israelites. Okay? So if we go back, matter of fact, let's go into this here. This is the Torah.com. It says Edom and Rome. Okay, this is because what I put in was the comparison of Edom and Rome. Right? It says this basic sketch of the relationship between the polities. Okay, these are the people that control the politics of Israel, Judah, Judea, Edom, Idumea, which Idumea is a Greek word of saying Edom, during the biblical and Second Temple periods, indicates that Edom was a polity that ruled from Mount Seir area, from Wadi al-Hassa, that's southeast of the Dead Sea, in modern-day Jordan, and southward, eventually extending westward to Ashkelon, which is in the area of Lower Canaan and Egypt, okay, on the Mediterranean coast, and northward up to the Hebron in the Second Temple period, right? It says, and yet, Rabbinic Midrash associates Esau and Edom with a completely different geographical area, the city of Rome in the Italian peninsula, and speaks as if Romans are all Edomites. So these are Rabbinic Midrash. Okay, when you look up this Midrash here, okay, it says what? Midrash is biblical exegesis by ancient Judaic authorities, using a mode of interpretation prominent in the Talmud. So these are basically rabbis that did their studying, that, you know, basically they deal with the Talmud, they deal with different history, which the Talmud is not, it's not law, it's fake, it's not real, you know, it's actually, it's basically a twist of the Bible and Babylonian customs or influence, okay? Showing you another correlation between the Edomites and Babylon, in which, what I showed earlier, Paul, the Spirit was on Paul to make that comparison back then as well, to make the comparison showing that what Esau, Edom, which was Rome, he called them Babylon, okay? Just like these so-called rabbis, they made the same comparison, all right? It says, I believe that the two main factors, okay, were at work here, Christianity and Herod, okay? Now, when you look up Herod, all right, which I have it pulled up here, this is from the Compact Bible Dictionary, okay? It says Herod, Idumean rulers of Palestine, which Idumea is likened to who? Edom, Esau. Line started with Antipater from Julius Caesar, who made procurator of Judea in 47 BC. Herod the Great, first procurator, right, of Galilee, then king of the Jews, all right, which he was deemed king of the Jews because the Jews took favor to Herod. Okay, it doesn't mean that he was a Jew himself. The Jews just took favor unto their ruler, unto their oppressor, just like now. Built Caesarea temple at Jerusalem, slaughtered children at Bethlehem, okay, killing the so-called Negro back then, okay, which was of the tribe of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. At his death, his kingdom was divided among three sons, Archelaus, Herod Antipas, and Philip. The second, Archelaus, ruled over Judea, Samaria, and Idumea, and was removed from office by the Romans, you see, because the Romans and the Herodians had a coalition. Why? Because they were all the same people. All right? It says Herod Antipas ruled over Galilee and Perea, killed John the Baptist, called, yeah, that's right, Yahweh Shai called them a fox. Okay? Why? Because they were likening themselves unto Jews as well. Okay? They were calling themselves Jews, the Herodians. Although they were what? They were Idumeans. And when you go into the history, John Hyrcanus, which was an Israelite, taught those Idumeans the customs, and therefore they started to call themselves Israelites. And that's found in the Josephus. Okay? So he was called a fox by Yahweh Shai, which it says Jesus here. Why? Because they were likening themselves unto Jews, but they were really Idumeans in the stead of the Romans. Okay? It says Philip, tetrarch of Batanea, Trachonitis, Galenitis, and parts of Jamnia. Okay, so on and so forth. And that's the history from what's known as the Compact Bible Dictionary. All right, biblical scholars put this together. All right, this is not something that I drew up or anything like that. We're just making a comparison of what the scholars say and what the scriptures say. And it all ties back to what? The Edomites being the Romans, and also to them being what? The daughter of Babylon, man. All right? So that's why when you go into the scriptures, let me get that real quick. And then I'll come to a list of scriptures that I have. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 17, and I'll start at verse 15, I believe. No. Let me go up higher and I'll jump down. All right? It says, and upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abomination of the earth. Okay? Because what? When you go into Revelations, the 13th chapter, it speaks about what? See, there's so much information. I already had a lot jotted down. This kind of slipped my mind, but I have to bring this out anyway. Okay? Now, this beast is talking about the ancient Roman Empire at first. Okay? All right, so let me start at verse 6. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against the Most High, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle and them that dwell in heaven. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints. Who's the saints? Israelites. And to overcome them, and power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations. Just like ancient Babylon, man. Ancient Rome had power over all nations, kindreds, and tongues. Okay? And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leaveth in captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. He is the patient, the faith of the saints. And here we go. And I beheld another beast come up out of the earth. It had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. And he exercised all the power of the first beast before him, and caused all the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. Why? Because the first beast, which was the Roman Empire, was hit with a deadly wound, but then was revised. Okay, going into the late 1400s. Okay, we have Caesar Borgia, all right, Cesare Borgia, the image on which the world recognizes as Jesus Christ, which is the so-called white man. That's how he made blasphemy against the Most High. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. And that's talking about thermonuclear destruction. Okay, that's why he dropped them bombs, Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Okay, but I just wanted to point this out, that he was hit with a deadly wound, but then what? He was revised at the end. All right, so when you fast forward, let's go to, because what? When you go to Revelation, the 13th chapter, Okay? So he exercised the power of the first beast. Okay? Because the first beast had what? Here we go. It says, and I stood up upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his head the name of blasphemy. Right. So those are the different power structures of ancient Rome. Okay. Right. Those 7 heads and those 10 horns. Bear with me a second. Okay. Now, when you fast forward into Revelation, the 17th chapter, right? And you jump down, and what is it talking about? Let's go to verse 6. Verse 5. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abomination of the earth. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs, which is the witnesses of Yahushua. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. Now this is talking about that beast that was healed, all right, which is America, man. Okay, excuse me, because I failed to mention that, because when the ancient Roman Empire was hit with the deadly wound, it was revised and it was established in the name of America. Okay, and also too those different what do you call them? Bear with me a second. There's a specific name for them. Okay. But ultimately, I'm sorry, I can't think of the name right now, but ultimately is revised as what? NATO and the EU, those different European nations, okay, that make up the new beast, okay? It says, and I saw the woman drunk with the blood of the saints and the blood of the martyrs, and I wondered with great admiration. There's a lot. Let me read verse 8. The beast that I saw was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit, which is talking about what? Europe, and go into perdition. And they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, when they behold the beast that was and is not, and yet is. Okay, now this is going into America, man. Okay, now let me jump down. This is the verse 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. Okay, why? Because just like when you go into Obadiah, the 7th chapter, the 7th verse, okay, this is Obadiah verse 7. It says, all the men of and what is this book written? Who's this book written to? It's written to Edom. Okay. It says, well, all the men of thy confederacy have brought even thee to the border. Thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. Right? Because that beast is going to collapse. Okay. That's made up of the 10 horns and the 7 heads and the 10 horns. Okay, what is it going to do? They're going to fight up against America. That's those that was in of that confederacy. Okay, that had a brotherhood amongst each other. All right. Now, just to further prove the correlation between Esau, Edom, which we established as who? America. Also too as ancient Rome, okay? And we're going to make the comparison and show that what? That is also likened unto Babylon, even in prophecy. So this is Jeremiah 49:10. But I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places. He shall not be able to hide himself, right? Because that's what Esau's doing right now. He tried to hide himself in the name of the Illuminati, in the name of information, all right? Having the people put in fear and in subjection, okay? His seed is spoiled, his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not. So let's go to, because it says, I have made Esau bare to uncover his secret places. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 47 and verse 2. Take millstones and grind mill, uncover thy locks, make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered. And what is it? Who is this talking about? I'm sorry. Verse 1. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Okay, and Jeremiah spoke the same thing, but he said Esau, Edom. Okay, let's go back to Jeremiah 49. All right, I'm gonna jump down, verse 13. For I have sworn by myself, saith the Lord, that Basra shall become a desolation, a reproach, a waste, and a curse, and all the cities thereof shall be perpetual waste. And let me jump down to verse 18. Okay? Verse 18. As in the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighboring cities thereof, saith the Lord, no man shall abide there, neither shall a son of man dwell in it. Now, let's go to Isaiah chapter 13 and verse 20. This is talking about what? Let me start at verse 19. Isaiah 13:19. And Babylon, the glory of kingdoms. Mind you, Jeremiah 49 is talking about who? Edom. Isaiah 13 is talking about it's code. It's saying Babylon, but this is proof that it's code for Edom, modern day Rome. Okay? That beast that revised himself. Okay, is in Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency, shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. Just like it said in Jeremiah 49, it shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation, neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there, but the wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures, and owls shall dwell there, and satyrs shall dance there, and the wild beasts of the islands shall cry in their desolate houses, and the dragons in their pleasant places, and her time is near to come, and her days shall not be prolonged. Okay? So Esau, Edom, okay, who is also Rome, which the scriptures call who? Babylon, is showing the same judgment. So Paul was in the spirit when he wrote that. 1 Peter, the 5th chapter, man. Okay? Let me see if I got a little more. Yeah, let's go to, real quick, Jeremiah chapter 50 and 13. Well, no. Let's go to Jeremiah 50 and 40. It says, as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighboring cities thereof, so shall no man abide there, neither shall any son of man dwell therein. And this is talking about Babylon, man. Jeremiah the 50th chapter. Okay? Let me see if I think I got some more in here. Yeah. Jeremiah 50 and 13. Because of the wrath of the Most High, it shall not be inhabited, but it shall be wholly desolate. Everyone that goeth by Babylon shall be astonished and hiss at her plagues. And if I'm not mistaken, we just read that. Okay? That's also in Jeremiah the 49th chapter. Let me double check. Yeah, verse 17. Right? And Edom shall be a desolation. Everyone that goeth by it shall be astonished and shall hiss at all the plagues thereof. These are cold cuts, man. All right? The Lord blessed us with this knowledge, man, to reveal you devils in this time, man. Our forefathers called you Babylon. You were called Rome, okay? But ultimately, you are Esau, Edom. You're going into slavery. The judgment of the Lord is going to come the same way it came by Sodom and Gomorrah, man. Thus saith the Bible, as in the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighboring cities thereof, saith the Lord, no man shall abide there. And it's talking about America, man, okay, which is New Rome, which represents Basra in the scriptures, okay? And I'm going to close off on that for the sake of time. Call Lord Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim R'chakodash, Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom Labaquarium. Peace to the elect. All right. Shalom.